A crow once watched a man trap it. 3 years later, new city, different clothes, completely different hair. That crow found him again and attacked. How does an animal that fits in your palm hold a grudge across years, continents, and disguises? For centuries, we assumed intelligence was our thing. Big brain, big skull, unique to humans. But crows have something called a nidopallium crassum, a brain region that does what our prefrontal cortex does: planning, reasoning, impulse control. They use tools. They solve multi-step puzzles. In one famous experiment, a crow bent a wire into a hook to fish food from a tube. It had never seen wire before. It figured it out in minutes. Researchers were floored. But tools are the beginning. The really wild stuff is social. Here's the problem. For decades, mainstream science refused to call this intelligence. The argument was it's just conditioning, pattern matching, instinct, no different from a dog salivating at a bell. And that argument almost won. In 1998, a respected behaviorist published a paper claiming crow tool use was learned mimicry, no real cognition involved. The field fractured. Some scientists walked away from the research entirely. Funding dried up. For nearly a decade, crow psychology was considered a fringe topic. Then in 2008, Dr. John Marsluff at the University of Washington put on a caveman mask. He captured 7 crows, released them, then walked the same campus for months, same mask. The crows didn't just remember him. They recruited other crows who had never seen the mask. They taught them memory. Generations of crows that were born after the capture still harass that mask today. That is not conditioning. That is culture. That is psychology. Once the floodgates opened, discoveries piled up fast. Crows hold funerals. When one dies, the flock gathers in silence. Researchers believe they're learning. Dangerous place. Avoid it. They experience play. Juveniles have been filmed sliding down snowy rooftops, climbing back up and sliding again. No survival reason. Pure fun. They experience something resembling grief. Bonded pairs that lose a mate show weeks of reduced activity and appetite. And perhaps most stunning, they pass the mirror test, one of the few animals that recognizes its own reflection, self-awareness, in a bird. So back to that crow, the one that found the researcher 3 years later. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't instinct. It was a mind, small, feathered, entirely alien to ours, that decided, I remember you. You were a threat. I will not forget. If a bird can hold memory, teach culture, feel grief, and recognize itself, then intelligence was never ours alone. It was always out there, looking back at us. From the telephone wire. Subscribe and follow us for more.